everybody. My name is Gibi. Welcome to my channel. Whether you are a returning subscriber or new, looking to get some tips about my video production, ASMR, and general tips and questions answered. So I have a whole list of questions here that I gathered to my pals on Patreon and on Twitter. And I just wanted to walk through them with you one by one and hopefully answer some questions that you guys frequently ask. Also, I'm wearing my Disney sweatshirt and it makes me happy. Okay, question 1. What audio hardware do you use / what is your audio setup and camera setup? So behind me I have my backdrop, and that is currently being held up by my green screen. This green screen is actually collapsible, so I can push it down and pull it up. And it stays in its little case. And I'm obviously going to put all the links in the description if you'd like to see the exact products that I use. And that green screen is actually, somebody asked later, what's the best thing you've ever bought? It's this green screen. It's completely flat, so you don't get any wrinkles. You can store it away, pull it up so easily, set it down so easily. I want one with a black backdrop and white backdrop as well, but they don't make them yet. So we have our backdrop here. This is just a blanket that I draped over. We have my ring light here. This is the Diva ring light Supernova. So my ring light has my camera in the center. Hello. And I shoot on a Canon Rebel T4i with an 18 to 55 millimeter zoom lens. But my camera is actually the product I'm least happy with in my setup. So I'll probably be updating that soon. It's the same camera that I used since I started. The next thing I have is a fairly cheap tripod, and the ring light connects to that. So that's my setup here. Then I have 2 cheap soft boxes, and these are used to light the background, help light my face, and in the case of when I'm using the green screen, very much light the background. That's the important part of green screening, is making sure that your background is completely lit evenly so that you can go ahead and do your editing with no problem. And a lot of times people end up putting their shadow behind them, which messes up the green screen. So lighting is very important. I suck at doing Q&As. I've answered like 7 questions out of order. Very good. Next, for my setup, I have my 2 microphones. These are the Rode NT1s. They have a foam covering on top. So I have the Proline brand microphone stands for these guys, and I think I just picked these up at like a Guitar Center or something. And then I have my cables, which are, how long are they? I believe they're 15 feet. I need them quite long because you want to have your recording device far away, because I record into a laptop. So laptop fans can be quite loud, especially during ASMR videos. So I like to keep my laptop across the room. So these 2 XLR cables, I have 2 microphones, one for the one side, one for the other. And the XLR cables connect underneath and then connect to a product I will link in the description, the Focusrite Scarlett. And that is what the XLR cables plug into. and then the Focusrite via USB connects to a very old MacBook, and I actually record my audio into QuickTime Player. New audio recording, record away. And always test your audio before you start. Can't tell you how many times I've recorded an entire video and then played it back and something was wrong. So always do a little test. Then, moving on to my editing software, I use Adobe Premiere Pro CC, and CC stands for Creative Cloud. If you have a subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud, you can download all of their products like Photoshop, After Effects, etc. I don't edit most of my videos anymore. Fun fact. In about this summer, I believe, I started giving more and more videos to my editor. You know him as Vest, and he's done such a great job and really sort of settled into knowing how these videos flow. So I give him 99% of my videos now to edit, which has been a lifesaver for me because basically all the time that I spend streaming on Twitch is the time that I used to spend editing my videos. So that has been a godsend for me. But obviously when you're first starting out, you can edit your own videos like I did for the first 200 or so of mine. And Premiere Pro has always been an editor that I really like. In terms of file storage, I prefer Google Drive. I just invest in however much space I need, and I don't know if I use anything else. So that's pretty much my setup. Next question. Oh boy, that was question 1. Do you use the same camera lens to record all of your videos? Yes, I use the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. I don't think I've ever recorded. I have a 50 millimeter lens, but I don't think I've used it. How do you find a good time to record? I record earliest around 9 or 10 p.m. if it's a quiet night. Typically, I'll start getting ready to shoot around 11 p.m., start shooting around midnight, finish around 1 or 2 a.m. I prefer it because these microphones are very sensitive, much more sensitive than the Yeti was. I can hear every plane, every car, every neighbor sound above and below, and it's been smart. I've had to do the least amount of waiting when I film at this timeline, and I used to film all hours of the day, and it was horrific. So that's something that's changed since the beginning. I now only record at night. When I try to record during the day, someone's always mowing their lawn, there's people driving by, but when everyone's asleep, Gibi comes out. So I actually do all my work in the morning. I take my break sort of in the late afternoon, and then I work at night, record at night. How much time is wasted waiting for sounds to stop? A lot, which is why I made the switch to this filming schedule. Do you give your roommate a warning before you start filming? Yes, I do. But most of the time I'll wait until she's asleep. What editing software do you use? Recording software. I use QuickTime to record and Premiere Pro to edit, as does Vest. Vest uses Premiere and After Effects for some of the green screen stuff. How much editing occurs? Not too much anymore. Basically, someone asked, is it hard to capture audio? And how much audio is added in post? So these are all editing questions, and I'm just going to run through sort of my thoughts there. The most important thing is to set yourself up well. Set up by far takes the most time for me, whether it's writing the script or literally setting things up so that it looks good and that it sounds good, so we don't have to do a lot of editing. When I edit, I turn off the heat in my place. I make sure all fans are off. I make sure everything is quiet before I do my recording. When I am doing the actual editing, videos depend how much I'm either on or not on that night. So sometimes when you see a cross dissolve or a blur, a little transition in a video, 90% of the time it's a pretty small blip in time that you're seeing. Either I'll mess up and I'll sort of just talk to myself, or I'll break, and then I realize, okay, well, that obviously can't be in the video. And what you do to make editing easier for yourself is you make a loud noise like a snap or a clap. So when you're editing back, you're looking at your audio timeline, you can see that blip of a loud noise, and that can signal to you, hey, there's an edit here that needs to be done. That's helped me not accidentally leave things in my videos that I didn't want to be left in. The more I've made videos, the less I found myself messing up, certainly. And I think you can tell by my blooper videos, honestly. I think my last blooper video was mostly more me messing around rather than me messing up. So you really do get used to it when you do something for so long and so many times over and over again. You obviously get better at it, but I still do record full videos without knowing that the camera's not on or something. Oh my god. Something that I would definitely recommend, side note, and I'll mention this again, is a camera with a screen that can flip forward so you can see yourself. That helps. How much audio is added in post? Almost none. Only a few videos, besides my roleplays that have some sound effects, have audio that's added in post. It's only when something didn't turn out the way that I wanted to, or if I don't have a solution to make the sound. So, 2 instances I can recall off the top of my head we had to add audio was one long time ago. I had a head massage video, and I did not have the setup to be able to have something nice to make head massage sounds. So I recorded myself doing the sounds close to my Blue Yeti and added those afterwards. And then one of my latest videos, my Winry roleplay, I did not like how the metal was sounding for those roleplays, and with my new recording setup, I can't wear headphones when I record. So I couldn't hear how it was turning out, and some of those sounds I wasn't happy with, so I went back and I made my own sounds and added those in. But I would say almost never we put extra sound in. How long does it take you from pre-production to post-production? This is a question I get asked a lot, and I don't have a good answer for anybody. It truly depends, and I'll take a second to talk about the different types of videos I make. We have our trigger videos, or something like a ramble, something like this. We have our role plays that are a bit improv, so something like a medical role play, best friend doing your nails, something like that, where you have an idea, you need the props, you're acting it out, but you don't need a full script. Those are the things that I make bullet points for and follow those bullet points. Then we have the character role plays, which are things like my Lord of the Rings role play, my Daenerys role play, my Linda role play. So those are very written out, especially in something like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, where the lore is very complicated and you want to be as accurate as possible. I wrote those scripts out word for word, practiced them a ton. I think Chloe from Life is Strange is another one. Pretty much any character that isn't mine, I'll write a full script for and practice. So a lot of the times the cross dissolves you'll see in those videos are me messing up my lines. So, do you prefer role plays or not? I think that role plays are more demanding time-wise and mentally. However, I think the payoff is much greater. I love seeing people's reactions to my role plays. I think because I put in so much effort and because I usually do characters that I love, I really enjoy reading the comments. I love when those videos do well. On the other hand, I adore making simple trigger videos, and I like that a lot of people will enjoy them. Sometimes I used to get frustrated when roleplays that I would work for days and hours and doing a ton of research, a ton of preparation, spending a lot of money, time, and effort. Oftentimes they won't get a lot of views because they're niche. My example is my Daenerys roleplay from Game of Thrones. I think it ended up getting around 200,000 views, which is still great. But it's frustrating when a video that maybe, I think I'll do a tapping video today. And while I love making those and I totally understand why they're popular, shoots up to 1 million, 2 million views. And I think what I've come to realize is that the point is that it's who you are, and sort of doing my character role plays and doing videos that I'm passionate about has helped sort of shape my community and show you guys my personality, and it's made YouTube super enjoyable. So I like both of them, and I love doing all types of videos. So you'll always see different kinds from me because I just get bored of one thing if I do it over and over again. So we gotta do lots of stuff. All right. Planning a video. My video list / schedule. My video list is planned out about a month or 2 months before. I have all of March and all of April planned out right now. However, the videos almost always change and get moved around. I plan out a schedule so that I can start mentally wrapping my head around what I want to work on, what I need to be preparing for. As the deadlines get closer, I can more accurately see what I have time for, what I feel like working on, and what has to get done. So, the schedule is loose, but really good to have and a really good exercise to sort of start thinking about and planning what you want to do. So, somebody asked if I use people's suggestions, and that is a big yes. So, what's really important on my Patreon is in the Titans tier. Every month we get submissions, and one gets picked out of a hat. However, around like all those 70 or so a month submissions that we get, I save a ton of them, and I end up doing, I'd say at least 3 or 4 or 5 from each list that gets submitted to me. It's awesome to hear from you guys, and I love suggestions, so even if I don't do them all, sometimes an idea will spark something else. So having my 3-day-a-week posting schedule is nice because I know how many ideas I need a month, and it just keeps me on track. So what's my best advice for coming up with video ideas? That would be to listen to others and think about what you want to see, and also challenging yourself and also giving yourself a break. So like I was saying before about doing different things, I don't think I could always do very in-depth character things. I do like to think realistically about things that I can do because I want to put out quality content. But I also know that simpler videos, while they may not be as time-consuming or full of effort, are just as good and can be very effective and very fun to make for me. So, video ideas, I would say, take your time, write them down. Okay, write them down because you'll forget them. Best and worst thing I've ever bought. What are the best and worst thing? The best thing I ever bought was my collapsible green screen. The worst thing I ever bought, I test out a lot of cables. I really wanted to be able to use headphones when I got this Focusrite Scarlett. And so I got this very long cable that would allow me to bring my headphones across the room. And I could barely hear myself. And it completely messed up an entire video's worth of recording. So a lot of pain and effort and time lost with a stupid cord. So that was the worst thing I ever bought. But now I make videos without headphones, and I think it's good for me. Okay. Do you watch your content back? Yes, I do. And I think this person was talking about, like, do I watch my old videos? Not necessarily watch them back while I edit them, which I obviously do, but yeah, I'll go back and watch my old videos sort of to reminisce or to see how I've improved. And it's just like a little time capsule of yourself. And it's kind of strange, but because I've been talking to myself for almost 2 years, I did a lot of theater, I did a lot of improv, and I've always been fairly extroverted and talkative, not very shy. It's not hard for me to watch myself. It is hard for me to watch others watch me, but just watching myself, I don't get like cringy or anything, so I'll watch my content back. Under that, do you get tingles from your own videos? That's a really common question. I believe I've gotten tingles from my videos maybe 2 or 3 times, but I think they were all from sounds that I was editing. I think I remember one was from my wood tapping video, but I don't think I've ever gotten it from like my voice. How long does it take you to become Daisy? Do you prep or does it come naturally? I don't know what you mean. Not long. Usually when I put on a costume and I can see myself in the viewfinder, it comes pretty easy. For more of my character role plays, I'll prep a bit. What's your favorite part of the video creating process? And is it still the same as when you first started? My favorite part of the video creating process is, I love having that final export done. And I love like actually publishing it. So making videos is really fun, and I do love when you have an idea and you're passionate about it and you're excited to go do it and everything goes according to plan. That's the best feeling. So I love when that happens. You're just like, you turn off the record and you're like, I know that went well. So that was my favorite part, but it doesn't happen with every video. In the beginning, my favorite part was probably reading the comments. I used to sit there and like refresh the comments. And I still read a lot of the comments on my videos, but it's hard to keep up on, which is still like mind-boggling to me. And sometimes you get some questionable ones, but I think now I really enjoy interacting with people live, so like on my Discord or on my Twitch. So that changed. That's like where I prefer to communicate, on Twitter, Discord, and Twitch. Because YouTube comments, it doesn't facilitate like a good conversation. So I didn't have those things when I started my channel, so that changed. How do you determine the background for each video? So I like to switch it up. I hate having a similar looking thumbnail in videos next to each other. So I'll change up my, I know my posting schedule, and I'll change up my background for each of those videos. And then for the green screen, a tip is to do a little blur on the background. It'll make you stand out, make it look cinematic and visually appealing. So some people just throw an image on there and they don't blur it. So I've done it both ways, but I definitely prefer the blurred background, so I think I'm gonna stick with that. But yeah, I determine the background. I make sure to have a dark background for something that is very specifically tailored towards sleep. Do you create and make all the cosplays and costumes for your videos yourself? No, I don't. I am actually a sort of like half and half cosplayer. I typically will purchase individual pieces and sort of like fashion myself into a character. I think only like one, my Belle costume I bought completely as one piece. I bought a Belle cosplay, and I bought a different wig and did that. But for Daenerys, that dress was a bedsheet. I will 100% make the cosplays that I compete with at conventions. So that was Raven. I didn't compete with Raven, but I made Raven, Jessie, Mercy. And then the other ones are sort of just pieced together. I don't know. I feel like I can't say I make a cosplay unless I make 100% of it. So I don't know. Linda cosplay, I got all the individual pieces and put it together, so I don't know. Kind of. It's definitely not something that is super important. There's nothing wrong with buying a costume. What is it that you fail most when creating your videos? So I thought about this one for a little, and I think what I fail at is meeting my own expectations, and this stems from the fact that when I get an idea, I get a very grand idea, and I really want to implement it, and I am motivated, and I think that I can do it, something amazing, and I want it to turn out amazing. And a lot of the time when I'm done and I'm sending my video files to Vest, he can attest that a lot of the times I'm like, I don't even know if that turned out fine. I don't even know if that was good, because I sort of failed my own expectations. And even though a lot of the times once he edits it and I see it, I'm like, oh, okay, that turned out all right. That turned out okay. It's sort of something that I feel like I am giving up, real talk, because I do 3 uploads a week. I do feel like sometimes I have to sacrifice quality, and that used to bother me for a long time. And I wish that I could spend weeks working on one video and making it gorgeous and making the set perfect and my costume perfect and the lighting perfect, and I'll have time to rehearse 7 times instead of 2 times. So sometimes I'm disappointed because I want things to be better. But I also am proud of what I put out, and I won't put out content that I think is, not worth a view. For at least for somebody who might be interested in it. I know not everybody can be interested in every video, but yeah, so I fall short of my expectations a lot, and I also plan too much for myself. I think that I can do more in a day than I can. Does your day ever affect the way you present yourself during filming? So this is asking if I ever carry emotions from my day to my filming. To be honest, not too much, and I think that answer surprises me. I think by the time I'm filming and I'm here, I get into a very similar state every time. If not this state, I'm a little more excited maybe because I'm doing something fun, or like extra, like Linda or something, I don't know. And I definitely get frustrated sometimes during filming when something's not going the way I want it to. But I find that when I'm here, when I'm filming, I'm always in a very similar, calm, almost professional mindset. And I don't know if that's habit or what, but I think that if my day were to ever go horribly wrong, I would probably push filming. I probably wouldn't film that night, but I can't remember a time where I was supposed to film. Yes, I can. Sometimes I get really tired, and even though I'm supposed to film, I know that if I go to film, it's not going to be good, so I'll wait till the next day. I do that quite often. So, or I'm like, I am going to film 3 videos tonight. I finished the first one, and I'm like, no, I'm out. And that's where filming in advance comes along, so you can have those sort of insurance days. If you need to take a day off, you're fine. And you can still stick to your schedule. What is something you feel you do best at when creating a video? I don't really know how to word this. I think I'm good at being genuine, as in creating content that I think both you guys will like and I actually would watch and enjoy. I love ASMR, and I've consumed so much ASMR content in the last 7 or 8 years of my life, and I've just always been really happy with being a consistent face in the community since I started making videos. So I think that I am really good at being consistent and sticking to my schedule, and doing a mix of new things and tried and true things and just things that I want to see. How do you set up a backdrop so that you're in frame all the time? You gotta get yourself a viewfinder. It makes your job so much easier. My backdrop ends off screen, and here I am. Is there a rhythm or pattern to tapping? That's a really good question. So, let me see. Okay, I have my brush here. I cut my nails off. So, I tend to go to a faster sort of pattern when I start. But it is worth it to control your speed. I think it's way more natural to tap fast. When I do slow tapping, it ends up being like this, with a pause in between. Sometimes I like to do little raindrops. And sometimes, if I'm going too fast, to slow myself down, I'll do the one finger tap. This is so specific to ASMR, and I love that we're having this conversation. I think on something like a phone screen, when you get different sounds, you're sort of tempted to tap them differently. But I think people's tapping style is something that's really like niche and fun to the ASMR community and to different content creators. Like anybody who watches ASMR totally understands. Oh, I love how she taps on things. Like, why? I don't know. I just do. God. Should you wear 2 different shirts if you make 2 videos in one day? Yes. When I shoot multiple videos, I will always change the background and I will change my shirt. Sometimes I'll change my hair or makeup, but I almost always look like this in my videos anyway, so. I used to wear a lot of lipstick and I would do different lipstick and stuff, but maybe I'll wear lipstick in my next video. When do you deem it necessary to cut some parts of a video? Whenever the sound is distracting or like harmful, like too hard of a sound. And then I will also do cuts when I totally mess up a thought, or I've done a couple of cuts in this video so far, and a lot of times I'll cut for my stomach rumbling. But you know, you get off on a tangent and you start talking and then you realize I'm not articulating myself the way I want to. I'll break, do my snap, sort of collect my thoughts, and then rephrase it. So, beauty of not live streaming. I think that's the biggest plus of making YouTube videos is if you say it, you can erase it. Do you have a pre-game meal or ritual? So, my ritual before starting to film, I will usually eat, since I film so late at night, I'll eat dinner. And then I will do my hair and makeup myself. And while I do my hair and makeup, I watch TV on my phone. So it's usually The Office, sometimes it's YouTube videos, and then recently I was watching Full Metal Alchemist. But it's because I watched the dub version, I was able to do that. I can't watch anime while I'm getting ready because I usually watch subtitled versions. So. But yeah, I'll watch most of the time The Office on my phone while I get ready. And then I'll do my setup. So that's my ritual. How much do you research the content and characters for your roleplays? A lot. And we're talking character roleplays here. Like my 300 roleplay, Interstellar. I have a lot of character roleplays. So, Kaylee from Firefly. I hadn't seen Firefly before. So that video took me many hours to prepare for because I watched the entire series and the movie. And then thank God every show and movie has its own Wikipedia. So that's where I'll go and fact check and write the script. So writing the script takes a long time, but obviously making content for something that you've never seen before takes forever because you have to consume the content. So for Lord of the Rings, that was, I think Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones are my two most time-consuming role plays. Lord of the Rings because I hadn't seen it in a while, so I didn't have to do this. I watched the entire extended trilogy, and then I wrote a script, and I outsourced it to people who loved Lord of the Rings to make sure I had absolutely everything right. And I still messed things up, and I got called out for it in the comments. So it's my goal to make things accurate, to make things immersive. And, you know, when you're dealing with beloved fandoms like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, or you have to do your work, you have to put in your homework. And even though I've seen the movies before, that doesn't mean that I can write a script off the top of my head. And, you know, you want to get inspirations and real quotes from the movies, and then you sort of add your own lore and stuff to fit the ASMR, the role play. So that's why I won't touch Star Wars. I won't touch a Star Wars roleplay, even though I love the movies. I feel like I'd be torn apart, so I'm too scared to do one. What is your advice for new ASMRtists? So I have a few pieces of very important advice, and then I could probably do a whole video on like very specific advice. My very important advice, number one, is your privacy. When you set up a YouTube channel, when you're picking your name, when you're doing anything, you need to act like you have 5 million subscribers. And, you know, a lot of people will put themselves out there, and once you're big, you can't go back. Things that are out on the internet are out on the internet. So my other one is more fun and less scary, is make things that you like. And I cannot stress that enough, because it's the reason why I love what I do. It's not that I inherently love setting up video equipment and recording and editing. I love ASMR, and I'm so happy to be making ASMR content because it's something that I enjoy. So the videos I make are about fandoms I like, about triggers I like, about, you know, things that make me happy. And because of that, the audience that I pulled in, we get along really well. And doing Twitch and doing Discord and all that has been fantastic because I acted like myself. I didn't try to do things for the likes or for the views. There's a difference between being strategic in what you post and not being genuine to yourself. So if you're genuine to yourself and your interests, the people you'll attract, it's going to be a great fit for you, and it makes everything so enjoyable. I am obsessed with my community. I think you guys are fantastic. And I say that all the time, but you guys could hear it once more, I think. So, privacy, make things that you like. And my third thing is to post consistently. That was my key to everything. Follow a schedule. It's hard, but I'll talk about it more in my next Q&A that I'll post on Saturday. Make yourself a realistic schedule, stick to it, and enjoy what you do. So, I think that's all for me. Here comes a plane. Let me say goodnight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the questions. And I hope this gave you a little insight. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to get to you.